good evening, everyone. We are so delighted to have you all in here. And my apologies for this delay. We had another surprise by, the Facebook Zoom dialogue, so to speak, happy dialogue. And apparently we need some authentication stuff between, Facebook and Zoom to start living. This is new. We've been streaming automatically for many months now. Surprise with the session with Miss Larissa Rediali. Listen, without any further ado, I am so delighted to have with me this amazing lady, Miss Larissa Rediali. She is, where can I start? I mean, literally, it's difficult for me to start with this. Miss Larissa Rediali comes to us from UAE. She is, her bio is absolutely impressive with 28 years of global experience. She is international author. She is licensed NLP trainer. She is a happiness master coach. And tonight I'm bringing Miss Larissa to share with us the happiness and the happiness theory and the happy-demic. Miss Larissa, please start by telling us a little bit about yourself. I'm sure I've missed a lot in terms of introducing yourself, and I don't think this short, if you like, overview gives justice to your extensive experience. Please take it from here and tell us a little bit about you, knowing that I'm not so sure our audience had the chance to watch the full intro video that you shared with us. So
no problem.
Speak up a little bit on that video and take it from here. Larissa,
perfect. Let me first of all thank you very much, Dr. Nebila, for hosting me on your live show on Saturday night. And I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to spread my message. And I would like to thank all your audience for being live with us tonight. And I really hope that they will be asking you lots of questions and they would enjoy every insight and moment that we are together. They say that the greatest gift you can give the world is the gift of your truth. So this is my story. What is my story is, as we are talking about tonight, we will be talking about happy-demic. And as you introduced me as international author, this is my second book. My first book was about sales because I come from a background of sales and marketing. I had the sales and marketing for hospitality industry, 5-star properties across the globe for about 14 years. And another 14 years, I have been talent and human capital development in many areas, specifically high-performing teams, attitude management, Swiss attitude, because I am originally from Switzerland and Lebanon, as I said in my story. And not only, I've always tackled everything that had to do with how to optimize our performance, nevertheless, never forgetting the psychological side of it. So sales, yes, marketing, yes, performance, but most of all our mental. As you said very well, I am a licensed NLP trainer. And why am I today calling myself a happiness master coach? I can only feel the vibes in your audience saying happiness master coach. What is this new title? Well, let me start from there. 2 years ago, I faced for the third time a near-death episode. Actually, I had 2 of them in Lebanon. As I said in my story, I come from Lebanon as well. So I lived all my entire young childhood until age 18 in Lebanon. And I faced war and I faced many phases of abuse in all its kinds, and violence, uncertainty, anxiety, actually all types of negative emotions that definitely are not towards happiness. So for me as a child until age 18, happiness were really mere moments I had the chance to experience with friends, but not with my environment, not with my family. So, but what happens? What happens was that I said, I'm not going to let this take over me all my life. Already, you know, you grow up in such an environment and you say, well, I want to stay here. There's no future for me. So I decided to leave Lebanon and go to Switzerland and start, like I said, building myself piece by piece. Today, I'm over 50 and I'm very proud of all my scars because they made the woman I am today. Now, 28 years of career and operations and meeting many type of people. I trained over 7,000 people across the globe, from C-level management to lower level management, but none of them have ever perceived or doubted or had an impression of my background or what was the weight on my shoulder. So I was carrying that mask. Today we are carrying a mask, unfortunately, due to a pandemic. But I was carrying a mask in terms of who I was really as a Larissa and who I was playing the role as the Larissa in the society or in her role. And when I was faced with my third near-death episode 2 years ago, I said that's enough of having to be the professional, like the Larissa professional. That doesn't mean I'm not professional. I'm super professional, but I wanted to be myself for once in a lifetime, truly me. So I could not live happiness. And this is why I'm leading this subject to you. You can spread happiness as much as you want. Actually, we are all doing this, but we are not living it truly. So Happydemic came thanks to this accident that awakened me after a long life of self-research, by the way. It's not the, like all of a sudden I decided. I've been writing this book all my life, but now it has found its place in the world in February 2021. So I would like to spread the message on your audience tonight. It's not happiness. It's over that. The only antidote or the perfect antidote to a pandemic that we are living is Happydemic. It's fighting this pandemic of fear, anxiety, palpitation, and uncertainty, and all the negative vibes it is giving us by being happy. And now I wait for you to ask me other questions so I can build. Otherwise, I will go forever. You need to stop me.
I can't wait. Listen, you have Miss Ziba sending you salams from Florida. I love it. Good evening, good afternoon. It's actually afternoon in Florida. So salam Ziba, good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon. Paritosh is here. Good evening, sir. So happy to see that you are joining after the few hiccups we had with connecting directly to the group. Facebook says I don't have the privileges to to stream directly to my Facebook group. Probably there is a procedure which is underway now. We know Facebook updates every time. But let me take you back, Larissa. Listen, this is the question probably all I know, Ziba and Paritosh and Ishrat and everyone and Suad, Buhid, and everyone who is usually in this group interacting quite, actively. We all have this, but who doesn't want to be happy? Everybody wants to be happy. Everybody wants to be happy. But why is it that we want so much happiness, yet we go around this world doing the exact opposite, finding reasons why we can be unhappy, finding the reasons in doubt, worry, and hesitation, and oh my God, the pandemic is going to affect me like this or like that. And all of a sudden, there is a whole pandemic of fear rather than a happydemic, as you say. Why is it that I don't doubt that anyone on this planet wants to live in peace and in happiness? Who doesn't? This is the ultimate, if you like, goal of everyone. But why is it that we go about life doing literally the exact opposite, literally finding reasons to mar our happiness?
Why? Listen, Dr. Nebila, there are many reasons why. I want to try to be very simple so people can understand and grab as many insights as they can tonight. The first thing is, where are we going to search for this happiness? Because if we are searching for happiness outside in the things that we want to possess, that we want to have, the moment we have them, this moment of happiness is a mere moment. Then we have them, then we're unhappy again and looking for something else. So we are concentrating on the wrong side of the happiness. It's a happiness in things. Then we start concentrating on our ego. We want to be happy and super fulfilled and achievers, whether at home or in life or at work. And we are really very ego oriented. And you know very much that the ego can be as well our enemy, because it hides the humility and the ability to be thinking or being clear on what is not working in our search of happiness, because we are so egoistically about satisfying this, gratifying this ego, this me, external me, which is not the one that will definitely lead us to a sustainable happiness. Now, there is another happiness is when we are spreading it with people around us, being with people we love, or sharing it with our family or our colleagues that we like, or with our surrounding, with others. But it's not enough. Who is suffering? You, the inside of you, the real you, the person. So we spend our life looking for happiness outside like crazy, whilst happiness truly is an inside job. Happiness is inside me because it's a choice. I have the choice to be happy or unhappy. Now, I'm not saying that we are not we don't fight, or we're not facing adversity, or we're not facing a negative environment, or we don't have events that make us feel unhappy. Now, 50% of happiness is genetic. 10% comes from your environment, but 40% you are in charge of. So if I look at the sphere of influence, the center of the sphere is what you can control. So whatever you can control, you cannot live with excuses of being unhappy, because happiness, it's you decide to be or not to be, the way you view it, the way you think it, the way you perceive the things around you. So this control, you can be in control of it. There's another area or sphere you influence. I am not saying that there's not a big sphere around it that we cannot control. But here you go. We have two options. Either one of them, we let it control us and we live our lives limited and blocked by this conditioning that we have accepted from this cannot control zone. Or we say, okay, wait a minute. Let me, first of all, stop resisting. Because the more I resist, the more I attract things to resist for. It's the law of attraction. The more I resist something happening to me, the more I will get out of it. The same. If I resist, for example, anger, I will get as many angry people around me as possible, because I will attract them. The more I resist something, the more I get more of it. So why don't I change my mindset? Because happiness is not only an emotion, and that is the problem. People think that happiness is only an emotion. No, happiness is a science. Happiness is a lifestyle. Happiness is a state of mind. Happiness is a state of being. It's lots more than an emotion, because it starts in my mind, in the way I'm thinking, the way I'm looking at an event that happened to me. Now look at my story. I could be either the hero, or I could play the victim all my life. I had the choice of being both sides. With all the surrounding of war, insecurity, and facing death, abuse, and you name it, because I really faced and got tested by life in many negative and hostile ways. I could have stayed hostile and negative and say, oh my God, I'm a victim of my world, and poor me, I couldn't do anything about it. I'm coming from a war zone, blah, 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 blah. No, it's a choice. I decided not to let this guide my life and my existence. So I decided to change the way I think, first of all. And if I may, the problem with us human beings is that we are always trying to find a meaning to something happening to us. We are meaning-making machines. We are walking all our lives trying to give a judgment or a meaning to something that happened. Somebody told me something, and I start, thinking and identifying with this thinking. Like, this is me, or this is reality. Another way of blocking this stream of negative thinking is asking one question. Is it reality? I mean, the real reality? Or is it me, my distortion, or my changing of the way I'm looking at the event and taking what I think is my reality? But the real reality is not that. There's much more that I haven't looked at. There's so many options I can change my view. If you allow me to make it simpler, I will share with you this chart. Imagine you are in this life, yeah? This is the dark room of life. As you can see, it's only dark. If you take a flashlight, right? The flashlight, because it's dark and you want to see, and you put your flashlight, how much light would you have in the room? As much as the beam of the light can give you. So if I have to give you what I'm talking about, it's the same with my mind. Reality is all the room that is black around. My reality is this beam of light. You agree with me? If I change the way I put my light in this room, I have other lights coming to me and opportunities or possibilities or things I haven't looked at. But if I focus only on my problem or my situation or the negative thing happening to me, I will only see this and nothing else. I am limiting myself in my own life. So I don't know if I went too much talking. You tell me.
You know, this is very interesting. No, actually, what you are saying is really, really to the point. What we are actually saying, probably we can simplify it this way, is that at every moment in life, at every step of the way, we have a choice. We have a choice of how to interpret what is happening to us, or either to look at it, it's a matter of perception. You can decide to have the victim, so to speak, lens and play the victim story and put your victim story on play, replay, 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 and live the role. You live the role because we are all the time acting the role that we play in our mind first. So you play the victim. Oh, poor me, I lost my job during this pandemic. This happened to me. I wasn't born to a rich family. I was in this. And then we play the role. Oh, I'm the result. I'm the outcome of what is happening to me, and it's doom and gloom and so on and so forth. But I think you are saying also that we have a choice in terms of saying, no, I'm not going to accept this. This is not who I am. And I decide to nix, if you like, that reality and decide to be happy. In the midst of war, in the midst of, if you like, adversity, in the midst of everything that is happening, it's actually Victor, what's his name? There's an author, Victor, who was in a Nazi camp, and he wrote that book where he said, the last and ultimate of all freedom is the freedom in your mind. That's something nobody can take away from you. And I love what he said in that book, because he said, in your mind, I mean, where everything seems to be falling apart, you can decide to be happy. You can decide to think, I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to. So Larissa, just for both of us to get down into a real life example, you say people who are listening to us might be saying, yeah, this is all nice and beautiful and happy, and here they are, these two ladies in their fancy things and fancy backgrounds. I'm in a Ramadan-esque background. You are in the famous international author background. Here they are talking talk that is not down to earth. Let's take an example. What would it, how is it about the choices if, let's say, something happened to me during the pandemic, say, and I meet everyday people who were tremendously affected by the pandemic. Either they lost their jobs, or they had to relocate back to their country because of the change in the economic situation, something big. And these things happen. how can we convince them or bring the perspective that they have a choice about on how to go about what happened to them? How is it that they can make of it either as we said, a doom and gloom kind of a story, or they can decide, no, I'm going to flip my thinking and make out of this an amazing story, a success story, a positive story, a story of coming back in my game despite the adversity. How can we do that? Let's say in a step-by-step process. How does happiness work in a step-by-step process? Take us into that internal journey where we connect with that inside stuff that you are talking about that is going to bring us happiness in the midst of all of this.
So there are many things. I will just start with one image that I will show. Do you see it well?
Let's see. Are you sharing on screen?
Yeah. No, I'm showing you like on the video. Can you see it?
We are not seeing anything as of yet, Larissa.
Okay, it's okay. Let me say it simply.
Okay.
Let's look at the circle of what's working inside us, right? The root cause of all our pain lies in our mind. What does that mean? What we are thinking. What is thinking? Thinking comes in different ways. It can be visual images, memories. It can be videos that you're playing in your mind. It has sounds maybe of the environment around you, sounds of voices you have in your own mind, but most of all, your sound, which means what? What you say to yourself, your inner voice, and you're talking to yourself, which is tremendously devastating. Now, I give an example of that. Do you say to yourself, I'm going to rise and do whatever it takes to rise? It's okay, things happen, I accept and I will move forward? Or, oh my God, I'm not good enough, here we go again, I'm unlucky in this life, I do not deserve to be happy, now I will not find another job. Listen to the dialogue. What difference is there in the dialogue already? Your mind will take action based on what you tell it. Okay, you have two minds. You have the conscious, which you are aware of and you're thinking, and the other one, which is bigger, like your hard disk. I don't want to make a brain program now, but your hard disk is where you stock and store everything you learned and who you are deeply, your unconscious and subconscious mind. So if you say to it continuously negativity and you're unkind to yourself, beating yourself up, your mind is thinking this, is going to overthink and bring more memories of failures, of maybe things that don't even exist. You are creating them, like you're already projecting yourself in the future as being a broke person, have nothing to eat anymore, on the road, on the street, and you start making this dramatic movie, right, with sounds. And you mutilate yourself and you believe afterwards that this is reality because you're viewing this movie and repeating it in your mind. So you are identified with the thinking. So there is nothing consciously you're doing. You're letting yourself completely driven by this insanity of your thinking, which is not only, it is not you. It's not you. You are much more than a thought, but you are not aware because you are letting yourself being taken by this monster of all these images matracking your mind of all what you think disaster is going to be showing to you. You're starting to feel completely overwhelmed, scared, panicked, and more. And after that, your body will feel the pain and will react. And over time will give you even some sicknesses if you do that on a regular basis. And all this will give you results. So imagine, whatever I'm thinking, I'm producing a result with that. So if this mind of mine, I am identifying and letting it run me with limitations and blockages and fear and anger and movies and creation of past, because most of the time people hang in the past. They are living with what happened yesterday, before. Oh my God, 10 years ago, yesterday, the year before. Oh, I will have the same event. Or they project themselves in the future And here comes what? Anxiety. Oh my God, how am I going to get to live and go through it? What we can do immediately to stop the stream of the mind is get this hat of ours, the conscious mind's hat, and says, oh, wait a minute. What am I thinking? And then bring myself to the present moment. What I mean by present moment, now, exactly now in this instant. Where am I? I'm with Nebila. I'm looking at people on Facebook are looking at me. I feel good. I'm safe. My environment around me is safe. I'm in the present. Nothing of this is happening. It's only my mind taking me somewhere and I'm letting it do it. So can I just give you an analogy for the conscious mind and unconscious mind so people maybe understand a little bit better? Imagine you have a ship at the sea and you have the captain and the crew, right? Who's in charge of the ship, in your opinion? Who would be managing the ship or guiding the ship? The captain or the crew?
Captain.
Captain. Yeah. So if I want to put this analogy as my mind, who's the captain in my mind? It's my conscious mind, my thinking mind, my analytical mind, my rational mind, the one that says, wait, I can look at this, I focus on that. So this is my analysis and thinking mind. The crew is all my storage box, my hard disk, which there I have my values, my beliefs, my deep me, my memories, my learning, all the past since I am conceived. I don't want to talk before that. Just since you are conceived in your mommy's tummy, okay? You have all the memory of that. So this is your resources. You have trillions of resources, but we don't trust them. So when the captain and the crew don't fall apart with communication, what happens? Mutiny. Worst case scenario, the ship will sink. Don't we do that in our own minds? We are not cohesion, not working with rapport with our both minds, listening to my instinct, taking care of myself, bringing the attention inside. Even if I have things happening, it doesn't mean if I have a negative thought, oh my God, no, this, no, I observe it. The difference between observing and let it obsess me is huge. Observing the thought and saying, okay, here it goes, it's clicking. I'm thinking that I'm going to lose my job, okay? The more I will think it, the more I will convince myself that I will lose my job, and the more I will get to a result with I will definitely lose my job. So it's all a question of stopping the judgment and the identification that what I'm thinking is real, because it's not reality. This is your reality. You need to put the captain on board of your ship to control whether this thought is reality or a distortion. And if it is reality, what can I do about it? Now, if I keep thinking it in my mind, I can't necessarily find the solution like this. Yeah, some people have difficulty because they're so identified that they have in the emotions, they can't think. One good exercise is draw it. Take a piece of paper, draw what you're thinking, or write what you're thinking about, or what is really bothering you. The moment you wrote it on a piece of paper, it's already detached from your mind. It's already on a piece of paper. It's out of you. You don't feel anymore the emotion. So with the eyes of the hero or the eyes of the observer, you look at this problem and you say, okay, hold on a minute. What happened here? Why am I thinking that? Okay, so you get the reasons why, what's happening, who told you what happened, what is the event? You stop there and then you say, okay, fine. Now, what can I do to change this? What learning do I need to take from this experience to move on? How, with the experience that I have and who I am today, with the eye of the today, not the eye of the past and the one projected in the future, how can I face this and find solutions? If I need help, who can help? What resources do I need? Where can I find these resources? So these are like few tips of like cutting the stream or the pattern of this racing mind that make us, that control us. But I want to say one more thing. You need to love yourself first. Self-love is so important. How can you love the world with authenticity, with like coming from your down there, the tummy, if you don't love your own self? It has to start by loving yourself, accepting yourself, and start to get friend with yourself before anybody else in the world. And this is our problem. We focus on all the world, and the person we forget, it's us, the me, this deep me. You have an essence inside that after some time will tell you, listen, you know what? I will punish you. You're not listening to me, because it gives you signals, right? Your mind tells you, you need to slow down, you need to stop, don't go this way because this is a dangerous area, stop thinking this is not true, remember you had this beautiful event last time. You know, our mind tries to save us, but we are blind. We don't listen, we don't want to see. We want to see only what we want to see. So this is one way of doing it, you know? So I gave you a few tips, like stopping the stream of thought. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So I love this, Larissa. This is so rich and so full, packed with takeaways that I, for one, I took away the importance of putting down the problem on a piece of paper. It's so good, and it worked so well for me when, you know, instead of having that problem looping in my head again and again and again, driving me crazy. So I started putting this problem on paper and put it down, and then, oh my God, what a relief. What a relief that now this problem is not in me, it's in there. And now it's like I can use, you know, intellectual objectivity, so to speak, to look at the problem as if it doesn't belong to me. And now I can look at it from multiple perspectives. I can even take, you know, the Indians, you know, dance around the fire, where I look at this problem from different perspectives and bring different solutions to it. Let me share this with you. Now, a lot, and we are all literally, especially women, and we have a large audience in this group of women who are right in the corporate, who are hitting the ground running. They are in high positions, and their life is really busy and everything. And there is this inner talk that is all the time connected with perfectionism. I need to have it to the T, otherwise I'm not going to. If I'm not at my best of my best in every way, then I'm not good enough. And we are raised, so to speak, with high standards in such a way as if you are not really like at your best, like a crack shot in everything, then you are not good enough. And we continue the story now after the subconscious mind now is closed and the black box has closed after age 7 or 8. Now we are living with this inner child who is repeating times and again, if I don't have the 100% in grades in my report card, then dad and mom are not going to love me. If I don't do all of, then he develops into the salesperson who, if he is not, and the chances are he won't be doing the best sales in the company, then it's beating himself to it, like, see, I always knew I'm not good enough. I'm not a top person, you know? And that sense of wanting to be perfect in everything. You and I know that there is no such a thing as perfect. Like success is what did Earl Nightingale tell us about this? Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Success is a process. It's never a destination or an arrival point. Here, I arrived at the top of the Alps. That's it. I've arrived and I'm here and nobody touched me. Success is really a process. It's a road. It's a two-way street. It's a journey. What can you add to that, Larissa, in terms of, you know, convincing my beautiful, amazing ladies in this group that they need to jump before they are ready if they want to start that business, that they need to jump before they are ready if they want to change that job? that has become too stale for them. They don't need to have everything perfect to start acting on it. What do you say, Larissa, to this?
Listen, in this, what you're saying to me now, there are many things I'm thinking about, and we need so much to talk about it. I will just give you highlight for you. What you just said now is a thinking error. In cognitive behavioral therapy, in CBT, we call this a thinking error. Why? Because we're comparing. Comparing to what? 100% compared to what? Perfection. What is perfection? What is the real definition of perfection? Again, distortion of our thoughts. We are then limiting ourselves in a belief that we should be like this. So this belief, we believe it, right? We will do whatever it takes to prove that we are right. So what happens then with this limitation? Our results would be limiting, and not only we take decisions in our lives that are not the right decisions. Now, I'm not saying it's not good to be perfect or look up, because we need to look up, but you need to look up with a rational mind, look up with this captain on board, not comparing. Compared to what? Not good enough. Enough compared to what? Who are you comparing yourself to? What are you comparing with? So this is very important. This not good enough, or the comparison, is a thinking error. It's only frustration. You can look at a role model and say, okay, how does he do that I can replicate? What values this person holds that helps her move in her career? Or how can she or he manage so well his job that I can take insights from, but not say I'm not good enough, or I will never be able to reach that. That's, again, it's a generalization. Again, another thinking error. Because the more you generalize, you make this the event, while it's not the event, it's an event. Catastrophizing, oh my God, I will never read. That's catastrophe. This is, again, another thinking error. So there are more or less over 26 thinking errors that we have been conditioned with. We're not born like that. Like you said, we were given this by our environment, our family, because they had these as resources. Nobody teaches us these things. I mean, we sponge what is happening in our environment, and we grow up with this huge sponge, and we don't know what is going to be good for me in the future or not. And how can I filter what is good and what not good? So what I mean by that is, when I have such thoughts, again, if I cannot do it by thinking, like visualizing the response, write on a piece of paper. 100% compared to what? 100% compared to whom? It's not a good thinking. So what do you want to do, you think, in your opinion, that makes you happy, thinking that you have reached where you want to be? So voice your expectations. Again, expectations can be our enemy. We expect so much from ourselves or from people, and we don't voice it well. So what happens? We get frustrated because what the result is not what we wanted or what we expected, because we weren't clear in the beginning. So clarity in thinking, clarity in the mind is very important. So how can I be clear? By empowering my mind into driving it to what we want to obtain or be or think, rather than what we don't want. Because naturally, God created us positive thinkers. I'm going to give you an example. If I tell you now, don't think of a blue tree, what are you thinking about? A blue tree. But I said not to think about a blue tree. Or kids, don't touch this. And the first thing they will do, they will touch it. Why? Because we are not mentally already negative thinkers. So what we have to do is think, first of all, of doing it, and then think, oh, no, she said not to do it. So you're doing two thoughts. So can you imagine, when you are in a negative thinking mode, you are working twice harder than somebody who's driven directly towards what they want to achieve rather than what they don't want to achieve. So you attract what you think. Again, law of attraction. In 45 minutes, we can talk. So we need so much more to give more tools. But if I want to just resume it, is start becoming more aware of who you really are inside, because happiness is in you. The sustainable one, the true one, is in you, in the way you think and the way you take care of yourself. It doesn't mean I'm not a negative thinker. So we are all human beings. We will get negative thoughts. We will get negative events. The thing is how you're going to build a house on a solid rock. You are the house. You need to build yourself on a solid rock, knowing yourself very well. Have a solid foundation where you trust yourself blindly, unconditionally, and you educate your mind every time it plays tricks on you. Because if you build your house on sand, your house will collapse at first wind, heavy wind or heavy storm. So we need to learn to create this bubble, reinforce, give ourselves the power. And this is only when our attention comes inside and stops a bit from this outside and get to direct me on the right path, to have a roadmap towards this happiness. And in my book, I actually divided it into a formula. And I call it the immune M&M's detox formula. We need to detox the mental, the emotional, the physical, and the environmental to be healthy and be happy sustainably. So all this is found inside my book. That's my journey, my 50 years of work to become the person I am today. And I still work on myself every single day. So it is a choice. You are in control, or you are everything is controlling you. Or you get back the control of your ship, or it's your crew playing around, having fun, and taking the ship where they want.
I love the metaphor of the ship and the captain and the crew is absolutely amazing, and it clarifies things so well. Happiness, I mean, what is coming out of this discussion is very clear. Happiness is an inside job. If you want to to find who is responsible for your own happiness and where to find your own happiness, look inside. Never look at the outside, just look at the inside and you will find all the answers. We are built with all the answers within. We are built with all the answers within. All we need to do is just look, listen to what's going on inside and not outside. The outside is a chatter. The outside, this is so good. I mean, we can stay for hours talking about this. My friend.
I can add on what you just said, Nebila, is let your faith be bigger than your fear.
Exactly. And I love it. This is what an amazing transition you're giving me here to, everyone who is attending this event, to remind them of the upcoming event. I have a 5-day event upcoming soon. In fact, in 2 days on the 3rd of May, from May 3 to May 7. 5 days challenge, 5 days, 1 hour every night at 9 p.m. KSA, where I'm going to take the group on a journey of the insights or the nuts and bolts of making a quantum leap. Now, in physics, this is very, very possible. We talk about quantum physics, and the particles, we know for a fact of life, particles, even in our body, have these illogical moves, very important, amazing jumps, that are done. And in fact, we can embody this in our day by engineering a quantum leap or a big jump in our career, or in our lifestyle, or in our health. We can take radical decisions and decide to change our health, to be healthy, to release weight. There are lots of things that we can take to really change our life like 180 degrees. But it has its prerequisites. It has its ABCs. It needs a roadmap, because on our own, as you said, We can think all the thoughts that we want consciously, but the subconscious mind has its own way of mixing whatever plans we have. If the subconscious mind is not in the equation, is not really involved in the equation. So 5 days of amazing information. So if you haven't registered, go ahead and register. We are going to put the link in the chat box. Please go ahead and register for this event. 5 days of absolutely amazing information. We are going to tackle different things, all the way from goals, how to set corporate goals and personal goals, self-image, fear, all those fun topics that are the stepping stones towards engineering a quantum leap or a quantum jump in our personal or professional, if you like, life. So let's see, let's see if we have any questions. I haven't seen from people here. If we have, do we have questions? Let's see if Janine has any questions for us. Any questions? Any questions? Right, awesome. We have some good bunch of happy people. Nebila says good evening. Suad Buhid, good evening everyone. Ziba, the salams from Florida. Onsi saying love, be happy, and you have lots of hearts from our amazing audience. Miss Larissa, I can't thank you for coming on board tonight. I know you carved this time to be with us tonight with my, my group here, the amazing group of 7-figure mindset for professionals in red souls in their Louboutin, Larissa. Tell us. I mean, this session doesn't do justice to everything you can help people with. Tell us, where would people find you, Larissa?
So you can find me through my website, larissaredayaldi.com, and then you can find Happydemic on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, all over the planet, in all the online stores. And if you had anybody from the UAE watching us tonight, I'm in Virgin Mega Stores and in Kinokuniya libraries too. So it's available everywhere. There's no excuse they can't grab the copy. And I'm there to help. I know it's not easy to do it on your own. You need some support. So please, I'm available. I can be contacted through my website. That they have lots of options to find, and through you if necessary. They know who you are. They know who I am. So more welcome.
Absolutely. We'll grab any questions that come your way and forward them to you for exchange and everything, and we'll tag you on these questions as well. I can't help you enough, Larissa, for coming on board. Thank you so much for bringing this joy and happiness in our session. We apologize for the little hiccup we had at the beginning. That's the nature of going live and everything, but we were so happy to host you and to host everybody in this group. If you have questions for Larissa, please go ahead and drop them in the chat box and we will take them from there. We'll also put any links connected to where to find Larissa, if you are based in UAE or want to contact her. Meanwhile, here's Nebila telling you all my salams here from Saudi Riyadh. Thank you so much, Larissa.
Thank you to everybody.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.